Hello, I'm Paul Peterson. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Education Next, and I have with me today our Executive Editor who is responsible for the research side of the journal, Marty West. And together, along with William Howell, we have done a poll that has surveyed American public opinion. And we have some findings we think are pretty interesting that we'd like to pass on to you. So, Marty, it's great to have you.
It's good to be here in person.
So, Marty, what is this about the President Obama and his power that we found out?
Well, one of the things that we did that's interesting in this survey, you'll recall, is that rather than just give everyone the same exact survey and report what Americans' views were on various issues, we've done that before, we decided to try and understand what might have an impact in changing the views of the American public. And in order to do that, we split the sample of Americans that we interviewed up into randomly determined groups.
So what'd you find?
So we asked them different versions of the question. Some of them we told, before asking them, say, about charter schools, we told them that President Obama is a strong supporter of charter schools. And we found that increased the percentage of Americans who support charter schools dramatically.
Some people say he's not a strong supporter of charter schools.
Well, we didn't worry too much about that, and his administration at least has publicly been declaring their support for charter schools and working to on issues like charter school caps. But we weren't really interested in what Obama's actual position is. We're more interested in, could the president, if he vocally articulated support for a policy, could he shift the public's views in a given direction? And in the case of charter schools, also in the case of vouchers, where we told Americans that Obama had opposed vouchers, and in the case of merit pay, we told them that he was for it. In all these cases, we saw that telling Americans that had a substantial impact on their
So it could
views.
move public opinion by 10 percentage points or something like
15
that.
percentage points, from
Which is big time,
not having
right?
a majority support to having a clear majority in support of some of these policies. And as we know, it's very difficult to actually see effects of that size when you study public opinion. So it's a pretty dramatic set of results.
Yeah, of course, the interesting thing I found was that research can have the same impact. And, you know, being a professor and believing in research and so forth, it was sort of fun to see that research could be as powerful as President Obama.
That's right. That's right. Some of the sample we told that research showed that these policies would increase student learning, just described it in very generic terms, and yet we saw effects almost as large as those of telling that the president was in support of it. One of the things we're seeing now is research and maybe some signs of presidential leadership could be having an impact on the debate over charter schools. And one of the things we've seen that also harkens back to some of our other research on public opinion on charters is that this may be a policy that's going to have more support from the Democratic Party over time. Traditionally, it's been seen as a policy primarily supported by Republicans, but as people learn more about charter schools, it tends to appeal to a broader constituency.
So I think this data showed that the Democrats were more influenced by Obama than the Republicans were.
Of course.
And also by research. That somehow Republicans were saying, we've got our opinion and we're not going to change on this particular issue.
And
right?
among strong Republicans, you actually, as you told them that Obama was in favor of charters, they actually reduced their support for charter schools. So if he's for it, how can I be for it?